Okay, a very good evening to all my fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests.
Good evening.
I request everyone to settle down. Okay, so let us get started off with the business session for today. The first announcement that I have is from the VP Education Toastmaster Ujjwal side. For the next week, the following roles have been booked. Toastmaster Mezzabine and Toastmaster Sindhushree have booked a speech slot each. Other than that, all the other roles are open. So I request all the interested members to contact the Vice President Education Toastmaster Ujjwal to book your roles for the same. The second announcement is from the side of the Vice President Public Relations Toastmaster Pavni. As you know, the quarterly newsletter is due at the end of September, so we hardly have about 20 days for the newsletter. And Pavni will be contacting all of you, or the ones who have given the best speeches in the club, and you've won that ribbon, Best Speaker, to provide your script or provide your speech to her so that she can include it in the newsletter. So kindly oblige and do send your article or your speech to her at the earliest. And I think that's all from the business session. Over to the Sergeant at Arms.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome dear guest. Today, theme of the day is Get the Ball Rolling. So, Get the Ball Rolling has many meanings. It's like once keeps on moving without even breaking your energy. That is the word of the day, that's mettlesome. And another one is getting started. Get the ball rolling is synonym of that is getting started of something. So, as a homemaker or as a woman, after marriage, nobody can take the role as keep the ball rolling. Only the mother knows how get the ball rolling. For example, if man doesn't give in finances, she has to get the ball rolling for whole month. Groceries is there, and kids, for example, if they don't like any food or something, then she has to get the ball rolling and getting ideas of making new dishes, or it is worker doesn't come or the maid doesn't come for that home that day, then she has to get the ball rolling of doing all the things apart from her work and the household things and her own personal works. Everything a woman has to do today. And I feel woman is the one best example to anybody can give for get the ball rolling. So to keep up that spirit, today we have one such person who is very much interested in cricket. Okay, he has done his degree from Jain University and currently is pursuing USCPA. And he is one who is very humorous. Whenever he comes behind the lectern, we'll always be waiting what jokes he is going to crack. So let's welcome the acting president of the day to continue the meeting, get the ball rolling, Toastmaster Shivaprasad Sharma.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mamatha, for that wonderful introduction. A very good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests.
Good evening.
How ironic it is that the theme for today is Get the Ball Rolling, and our transport unions have decided to go on a strike. And despite that, we've all come here, and that is amazing. Before we begin, we have this practice at Mekon of making the guests feel welcome, right? So I request, as in when I call you out, request to stand up wherever you are and just tell me a little bit about yourself and how you came to know about our club, right? So we'll start from here.
I'm Dr. Seema. I'm an ophthalmologist practicing in and around Panchamkri and Jayanagar. And I have been looking for the Toastmasters Club for my daughter. She's in her second PUC and just started 18. So I wanted her to enroll for the Toastmasters. So I just came over to see if this would be an ideal place for her. And I got to know about this from my neighbor, Mr. Kiran, because even he was looking for the Toastmasters Club. So that's how I landed up here today.
Okay, yes. Thank you Seema, welcome to the club. And just to let you know, the club is not only for daughters, it's also for the mothers. Right? So,
and
sir,
also, the member intending to become member, your daughter should be 18 plus, and she should be at the graduation level, not before that. Let it be very clear to anybody.
She should be completing her 12th and
she should be into her graduation.
into her
Until
graduation.
we don't want anything.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening to the board, Toastmasters. Myself, Kiran Hamba. I live in Banshankari. I have my own business. We are into import and export of industrial belts. Besides this, I am into a lot of social work. I am secretary of Bangalore Apartment Federation, Banshankari cluster, as well as secretary of KAMA, Karnataka Hardware and Allied Merchants Association. In fact, Mr. Umesh was my previous neighbor about 11 years back. We have been in touch with him, but I didn't get any chance to come to this wonderful club. So I happened to meet him last week, and then he was telling that why don't you join? And then I'm here today.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Kiran, and it seems you have a lot of neighbors in this room, right? A lot of people have come here.
In fact, Mr. Balraj Arunachalam is a very close friend of mine.
He is a very close friend of our first international president of our Toastmasters from India,
Yes.
from our district. Balraj Arunachalam, international president.
He is
And Mr. Nagaraj also
is
is
from
president of
Sri Lanka.
He is from Sri Lanka. Actually, they have got some business contacts.
Arunachalam is from Sri Lanka, Kiran is from India. There was some
Kiran have
confusion.
yes.
Whenever he came from Sri Lanka, I used to stay with him only. It's
Okay.
a close friend of his.
Okay, so all your neighbors and friends have done it. It's time for you to do it.
Sure.
Okay, so the next guest that I see, yes, sir, over there.
I'm Chetan. I'm a software engineer in Bangalore. I work for an IT company. About 3 weeks ago, we were asked to present our work. When I went on stage and I spoke in front of everybody, I realized that I didn't do a good job. I just blabbered through the whole thing and wasted everyone's time. So I think it was high time I started doing better.
Oh, thank you.
With the president, with your permission.
Yes.
He has not told one point. He is
He is
son-in-law
the
of Mr.
son-in-law of
Nagaraj.
One more round of applause.
That is all the more reason to treat him very well today. You, sir, yes.
Hi, my name is Anil. I am also a long-time software engineer.
Okay.
And my home is here, my office is close by in Jainagar. I found Mekal through the Toastmasters website. So I run a technology company and an education company where we train students in computer science. It's a 4-year, the undergraduate computer science program. And one of the challenges I see in the students is their communication skills as well. And one of my reasons for coming here is to understand how Toastmasters work and how I could learn from it and potentially apply it for our students as well.
Welcome. Next, we have a member from one of the oldest clubs in the country, Mr. Raghu. Yes.
Hello, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm from LA 1924, the oldest club in Bangalore. I've come here just like that because Shivaprasad was a warm person. I live at Banshankari and I wanted to visit one of the club close by to my house. And I in fact called up JP Nagar last time. He said, I asked him the dress code, he said, tough, very tough, I wear blazers. I am not asking blazer, I am asking his warmth. But
Okay.
you express warmness, so I came here.
Okay. Hope the AC is not too cold then. So with that, let us move on to the minutes of the meeting of the previous meeting from our secretary, Toastmasters Sharanye.
A very good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and their esteemed guests present here. Here are the minutes of the meeting number 1229 held on 3rd of September 2023. Theme, the talent factory of the world. Word of the week was edict. The business session started at 6:23 p.m. and was chaired by acting president Toastmaster Ujjwal. In the business session, the following points were addressed. Vice President Education Toastmaster Ujjwal mentioned that all the roles were open except for 2 speech slots and table topic master. Interested members were requested to contact him for the same. Vice President Public Relations Toastmaster Pavani mentioned that quarterly newsletter is going to be released and members were requested to contribute their articles for the same. Acting President Toastmaster Ujjwal recognized the Division B Director Toastmaster Praveen P and addressed the members. The regular meeting started at 6:27 p.m. Associate Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Mamatha started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and later handed over the charge to Acting President Toastmaster Ujjwal. Acting President Toastmaster Ujjwal opened the meeting, spoke on the theme and later introduced the Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Prashant. Master of Ceremonies Toastmaster Prashant spoke on the theme and introduced the following role takers for the day: Timer Toastmaster Mehjabeen, Accountant Toastmaster Shreya, Grammarian Toastmaster Apoorva, PP Evaluator Toastmaster Gaurav. The prepared speech session had two speakers: Toastmaster Latha attempting Level 1 Project 2, which was evaluated by Toastmaster Sharanye; Toastmaster Anusha attempting Level 1 Project 2, which was evaluated by Toastmaster Shivaprasad. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Sushruth and had 11 speakers in total. The general evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Jyothi. The winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker Toastmaster Anusha, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Shivaprasad, Best Table Topic Speaker DTM U Bhat, Best Role Taker Tab G Toastmaster Shreya, Best Role Taker MTG Toastmaster Sushruth. The President closed the meeting at 8:26 p.m. which was followed by the National Anthem. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Sharanye, are there any changes proposed to the minutes of the meeting? Okay, then I consider it as accepted and open meeting number 1230. So how many of you here have heard of this law called the Parkinson's law? Give me a raise of hands. Right, can any of you tell me what that is?
Work expands to fill the time available.
Yes.
Everybody rises to the level of his incompetence.
Okay. That is a crude way to put it. Okay. So, as they said, Parkinson's law is basically the law that states, it's not exactly a law, but a certain author named Northcote Parkinson mentioned it in one of his books. Right? And this was too much English for me, so I'm just going to read it out. Parkinson's law is the observation that the duration of public administration, bureaucracy, and officialdom expands to fill its allotted time span regardless of the amount of work to be done. Now, if that was confusing, here is a...
He briefed it in a very short...
Yes. Here is a generalized way. Demand upon a resource tends to expand to match the supply of the resource. Right? So basically, if you have a lot of time to do a work, you will take all that time and then you do that work. Now, as the sergeant introduced, she said, I'm interested in cricket. Recently, not that much. I haven't been watching it. It's been going very well, that's why. But I am, as she said, pursuing a course called the USCP, right, the American version of the CE. And one advantage or disadvantage, you can say either of this course, is that you can write the exam at your own leisure, whenever you want. Right? Whenever a slot is available in the testing center, you book the slot, you go ahead and write it. So I enrolled for it in 2022. And then I said, I'm going to start studying. It's an expensive exam, so let me take my time. And I kept studying. It kept going on. And a year passed. And everybody around me would keep asking me, Shiva, what are you doing right now? USCP. Okay. When are you giving the exam? Not yet ready. When I'm prepared, I'll give. I can give it at any time. Okay, fine. And then it just kept on going. Nothing is moving forward. It's just stagnant. And one fine day, as if a divine coincidence happened, one of my friends shows up. And he's also pursuing the same course. He also enrolled for it. And he just said casually, and we were just crying to each other. This course is so much, there's so much to study, I can't do this. And he just casually remarked, Shiva, let's apply for the exam. I said at that time, okay, apply. Why did I never think of this before? I've been preparing for 1 year and I've never thought of applying for the exam. You idiot! I'm not ready, man. I've not covered the entire syllabus, so I can't write the exam. Please understand, whenever I'm ready, because it's an expensive exam, I don't want to waste money either. Whenever I'm ready, I'm going to give the exam. And he said, that is exactly the reason, Shiva, that I'm asking you to apply for the exam. Right? The amount of time that you have the work that you have to do in that amount of time is going to expand to fill in that time, as the Parkinson's law states. And I went ahead, I said, okay, I'll take your advice, and I applied for the exam. I got the ball rolling. A couple of months later, I got this assurance or a slip from the institute. Shiva, you are eligible to give the exam. Started preparing. Right? Slowly, I started covering big chunks of the syllabus. And that slip that I told you, it is like a hall ticket, and it is valid for 6 months. Still 6 months are there. Started preparing, but not so much. Slowly, little by little, I started covering the syllabus. And then it went on, and now I still don't know when I'm going to give the exam. And that was finally when I said I'm going to book the exam date. And when I booked the slot with the center and I paid that humongous amount of fees, I set a deadline for myself. I had no other option but to set the ball rolling. And then I started studying seriously. And today, I'm very glad to say I've cleared that exam, right? Because of studying that much. And the reason for that, I put a deadline on my work. If I kept saying to myself, when I'm ready, I'll get the ball rolling, it would never happen because you're never ready, right? You elect a politician for 5 years. Tell me, when do they put tar on your roads?
Next election start.
They'll spend the entire 5 years, maybe 4.5 years, and then when the election is nearby, time to tar the road. And one exception to that is the street that is in front of my house. Right? Nobody's touched it for 10 years. Okay, that jokes aside, why I'm talking about this is that it is important to set the ball rolling. Right? So if you just say that I'm not ready, and if you say, let's say there's an exam in 6 months, you'll have to start preparing today. Let's say you have a very important event coming up in 6 months. You want to look good. You want to have a chiseled body. Start working out in the gym today. And I know what the hardest thing is, waking up in the morning, because there's hardly any motivation to do these tasks, right? So that is the toughest part of your day, waking up in the morning. Somehow if you push through that, the rest of your day just happens if you've noticed. Or else you're just there, lying in your bed. Because what you've done by waking up in the morning is you've set the ball rolling, right? So try your best. If you've been waiting for something, if you're waiting saying that the time has to come for this and I'm not really ready for it, then it's never going to happen. You'll have to take that step. You're waiting to join Toastmasters, you'll have to contact the VP membership of the club directly instead of looking here and there, right? So with that, let us move on to the introduction of our Master of Ceremonies for today. This person, she has 7+ years of enriching corporate experience and more than a decade of experience as a freelancer. And to tell you more about this person, she can stand in front of a mirror and talk to herself for hours. And she can also dance to the sound of a generator. Right? Somehow we didn't have a generator at the 25th anniversary meeting. If we did, it would be better. But this should tell you that this person requires very little motivation to do what she wants to do. And that is a good thing. Right? And the reason you see her today here, taking up this role for the very first time, our Master of Ceremonies for today, presenting to you Toastmaster Latha.
Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Goa, what does that click to you? Beaches? A vacation all of us want, but sometimes, but we can't go. Planning, and more planning. Sometimes it's successful and sometimes it's a failure. Majority time it's a failure. 0.001% it's a success. Now this story is about me and my friends. We all know 2020, 2021, 2022. How did it go? It was Corona. All of us packed inside the houses. We were just waiting. Everything opens up. We get our vaccination, even our booster doses with that, and let's go out. Let it be any beach, somewhere 100 kilometers of Bangalore, so let's just go out of the house. That was what all of us felt. Now what we thought, okay, if we have to go, we are getting our leaves from office, we are getting leaves from family, some me time, some space, let's go to Goa. Now what happens for Goa is, there will be 20 people who will tell you yes. The initial stage, when you have a brainstorming session, where do we go? All people will tell, okay, let's go to Goa. The first probable result what you have is Goa. Then when you ask, go for the next steps, you start with, let's get the ball rolling. It's like, let's kickstart the plan. There's an agenda, let's start it. What is the agenda? Goa. 20 people are there. Now when you start up, okay, where do we go? Which part of Goa we stay? Which resort do we book? How many vegetarians, how many non-vegetarians, how many want to go to party life, how many want to enjoy the sunset, what they want to do. So when you come up with all, then there is 50% deduction in that. 10 people turn up. Okay, this and all, let's discuss, then go. Then when comes the next stage, let's do the resort booking. Cut out more 25 people. 25% I mean. There are only 5 people there then. Okay, let's go. We book this, we go here, we do this, we plan the whole itinerary. Everything is done. Now when comes the amount to be paid and all the real bookings to be done, you have 3 people showing up. Everything like, okay, from it's like 20 to 10, 10 to 5, 5 to 3 now. Now you're really serious whether this plan is going to happen or not. Now you start thinking, how do you kickstart? Finally I got a permission to go. I have some me time, some space time, 3 years. It's like 1095 days I'm inside the house. And I got both my vaccines. There's a different irony that I paid for my vaccines. I never got anything for free. I paid even for my booster dose. Because I wanted Covaxin. So I paid for everything. Now since I've already paid for it, let me have some fun. That's when the 3 people agree. Now you know 3 different minds, how do they work? Right? 3 different minds, one will tell north, one will tell south, one will tell east. And there'll be another 4th person who doesn't want to come and tell west through it. Right? So then okay, we think what to do. Then I thought, okay, I'm going to kickstart it. I want the ball rolling. I'm booking it. Now if you're coming or not coming, that's your issue. But you have to pay for whatever the expenses come. So then I get 5 people. I gather 5 people. Why do I gather 5 people is, if you hire a car in Goa and there are 5 people, it becomes very cheap. And if I hire 3 2-wheelers there and it's so hot over there, anytime part of year you go to Goa, it's always burning hot. It's never cool like Bengaluru, anytime. I don't know, okay, let's pull up 5 people. Then once the booking is done and the payment is made, that's when I feel I can tell that is the real stage when you kickstart the plan. And then the Goa plan was on. I would say that was one of the best memories of my life. I had traveled to Goa a lot of times before, but I don't know, Corona changed a lot of things. Corona changed the perspective of having fun, enjoying your me time, and living those memories which you may not have in future. So this is how we kept the ball rolling and we kick-started. The same thing was one person in this world who thought, let's make the world a place where people can communicate well and can have better leadership roles. Let's train them on that or give them a platform where they can start with it. And that person was no other than Ralph C. Smedley, who started Toastmasters in the year 1924 at YMCA, Sanjana, California. There are around 280,000 plus members across 144 countries and 14,700 member clubs. And one of the prestigious club, which is I'm proud of belonging to, is Amicon Communication Club, which was started in the year 1998. So now the typical Toastmaster sessions consist of 3 parts. The first is the prepared speech, wherein the speakers get time to prepare them on a subject of their choice according to the guidelines mentioned in the manual. Once we are done with that session, then we move to the next one, that is the table topic. We have a Toastmaster who conducts the table topic session, wherein a topic is given to them impromptu over there and they need to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. And then the third part comes the most exciting part, the evaluation part. Now in this, the general evaluation session, this is a session where the speakers and the proceedings of the meeting will be evaluated and the feedback will be given. So this is how an ideal Toastmaster meeting goes on. Now, to help us with that, we have a certain role takers which help us in the smooth flowing of the session. Now, the first role taker is, I would like to call upon our Grammarian Toastmaster Jyothi, and please explain her.
Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, my role is to make a note of the good usage and not so good usage of the speakers. The word of the day today is middlesome, which means full of spirit and courage. I urge everyone to use the word of the day, and I will be making the note of whoever uses the word of the day, and I will give the report when called upon during the general evaluation. Back to the MC.
The next is our counter, DTM U Bhat sir.
Madam Toastmaster, Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Many of us have got what are called filler words or crutch words whenever we speak. I confess that I have a crutch word called actually. In fact, I probably got it from my boss, one Mr. T.R. who was using it much more than what I was using. One of the meetings when he had to go and visit some VIP, I was also there in the meeting, some MD of a company. So he introduced himself. He went and said, actually, sir, my name is T.R. actually. So, joke apart, this sort of filler words and crutch words robs the power and effectiveness of the speech. Same thing happens to we use these ahs and ums. Mostly it happens because of inadequate preparation, or maybe due to some nervousness, or out of sheer habit. Now, as our counter of the day, my role is to keep track of such ahs and ums, filler words, crutch words used by all the speakers, keep a track of them, and give a report whenever called by the general evaluator. So that's my role. Let me say, I hope that you will try to minimize our ahs and ums and filler words to the extent possible, one meeting to another. Back to you, madam.
Next, I would like to call upon our PP evaluator, Toastmaster Mamatha.
Good evening, everyone. To get the ball rolling smoothly without any potholes like back roads, we refrain ourselves from taking calls or mobile ringing. Kindly everyone put their cell phones in silent or vibration mode. And I request everybody to avoid speaking regarding sex, politics and religion. And to get the battlesome running, everyone refrain themselves by cross-talkings among themselves. And I'll give the report whenever I'm called upon by the general level. Thank you very much.
And next is timer, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra sir.
Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome guests. As a timer, I will be noting down time taken by each speaker. As far as today is concerned, all or icebreaker, the time allotted is 4 to 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, I will be showing the green card. At 5th minute, I will be showing the yellow card. At 6th minute, I will be showing the red card. As far as the table topic is concerned, time allotted is 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will be showing green, 1.5 yellow, 2 red. As far as the evaluation is concerned, 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, green. At 2.5 minutes, yellow. 3 minutes, red. I will be giving report during general evaluation when called upon. Thank you and back to you.
Now, let's start our session 1. Now, this is going to be the prepared speech session. Now, I would like to, our first speaker for the day is Apoorva, and her evaluator is Keerthana. Keerthana, I would like you to read out the project guidelines, please.
Thank you, Latha. Good evening, one and all. My target speaker is attempting her icebreaker, and the purpose of this project is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Wishing her the very best.
Let's welcome our first speaker, Apoorva, who is attempting her level 1, project 1 icebreaker.
Toastmasters and esteemed guest. To tell you all about myself, I do the hardest job in the world. Can anybody guess what it is?
Homemaker.
No, I'm a mother. Once upon a time, this mother was a kid. And when I was little, my parents constantly tell me that I was naughty and mischievous. They narrate the story that when I was in play school, in between the class, when the teacher was teaching the lesson, I would randomly get up and announce that I was not in the mood to study and just walk out of the class. Seeing this, all the other kids in the class followed me out as well. Well, this was a huge problem and the teachers constantly complained to my parents and they were constantly called to the school. Growing up, I was the apple of their eye, really pampered until 7 years later when my brother was born and attention was divided. Like every firstborn, initially I was really jealous of him. In fact, but my love for him changed it all. In fact, the day I met him for the first time in the hospital was the only day I can recall from my initial childhood days. I can still remember the day I held his hand for the first time. I was really excited since I always wanted a sibling. I even announced to everybody at school that I had a younger brother. I did my schooling at Shreya Memorial School. I was really good at sports. I was the captain for every other sport in my school, be it basketball, volleyball, kho-kho, and so on. I played state level kho-kho. I won many medals for badminton, throwball, running race, and almost all the sports. I always loved math, hence I took up commerce in my PU at SPMJC. These 2 years flew by very quickly. But these were years where I was transformed into a responsible adult and I became serious about studies. Post that, I did my Bachelor of Commerce at SPMJC. The first year was initially tough as it was with a new set of friends. But by the end of the year, we started having fun. We made loads of memories going out after college and sometimes working class too. I won many medals for various sports like badminton, basketball and so on in my degree as well. In my final year of degree, I was awarded the overall sports champion. Interior design as a subject always fascinated me. Hence, I took a diploma course in interior design. Later, I worked as an interior designer at Satish Swan Lines and Studio Architects and took a break post-wedding. Post my marriage, I continued to pursue other things I was passionate about like dance, fitness and art. I'm a travel enthusiastic who loves to travel, play adventure sports and going on treks. Since my husband also enjoys traveling, we enjoy making our own itinerary and explore as we travel. I also love watching cricket. I'm a big time foodie and also a huge movie buff. I also have a gifting venture wherein I take care of all your return gift needs for various events such as weddings, naming ceremonies or birthday parties and so on. I have a page on Instagram called Gifting Tree India. The most memorable phase of my life was when I was blessed with my son Abhimaan. This was the day when I realized that love at first sight was real. He is that one person for me for whom I would take a bullet or turn the world upside down for. Mother brought out a whole new version of me where I was patient, a multitasker, responsible and everything I never thought I could be. Abhimaan turns 4 this October. I still can't believe I'm a mother. Fellow Toastmasters, this mother stands today in front of you, hoping that this club and all of you here would help me to speak, hoping that everybody here would help me to stand before a crowd with confidence and be a better speaker. Over to the MC.
memorizing? Yes?
Yes.
We can understand how standing over here behind and talking for the first time, how nervous it's, right? But good, you've taken the first step, you're keeping the ball rolling, that's nice. And now we have our speaker 2, Shreya Rao, and her title is Who, What, Why. Let's welcome our second speaker, Shreya Rao. She's attempting level 1, project 1, her icebreaker speech.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my esteemed guests. I would like to answer 3 questions today. Who, what, and why. I'll start with the easiest one to answer. Who are you? Simple. My name is Shreya, but so is the name of 100 other thousand girls out there. In my PUC, during midterms, they used to make us sit alphabetically. And there were so many Shreyas in my class that one teacher just gave up in the middle of taking attendance because he was so tired of saying that name. But I love my name. I was born in 2004, which makes me 19 years old. Both of my parents used to work as software engineers, but my mom stopped working after my brother was born. Now, my brother was born premature at 6.5 months, which is pretty early, so there are a lot of complications that arise when you are born so early. So my parents weren't allowed to take him home for a few months. He was in the ICU itself. But one time when my parents told me, Shreya, let's bring your brother home now. I was like, no, let's not bring him home. And then they asked me why. Apparently, 4-year-old Shreya said, because he's a bad boy. I already started hating my brother the moment he was born. But the funny thing is that he's the complete opposite now. So when we were younger, my mom used to have a password on her phone. And when a kid finds out their mom's phone's password, you'd expect them not to tell anyone, right? It's a big secret. But no, my brother, as soon as he found out the password, he'd go and tell my mom, and then she'd change the password. Why? So he's a total innocent kid. Coming to the second question, what do you like? When I was growing up, I was a very sporty kid. I used to play soccer, I used to do gymnastics, and I used to swim. But as I became older, I became a total arts kid. I went to drama class for a year, but not willingly. I went to Bharatanatyam classes and I finished my junior exam. Then I stopped. I used to go to music class and I stopped in the middle there as well. But this year I started going back, which makes me very happy. Another class that I was forced into going was abacus, and I hate that class with all of my heart. But my brother, he's practically like a human calculator, and he loved that class. I also went to drawing class for the longest time, and I still draw and paint whenever I feel bored. I started learning the keyboard last year as well, so yeah, total arts kid. But I'd say my favorite hobby of all time has been reading. Just give me a book and I'll be happy. Thriller, mystery, fantasy, fiction, I don't care. Just give me a book and I'm a happy girl. I was that kid who used to take a book to the mall and read while my mom was shopping. Another thing that I love is the subject computer science. And I fell in love with this subject in 9th standard when they started teaching us Java at school. And I immediately decided that that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a degree in computer science, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now at my college, Dayanand Sagar. I'm in my 2nd semester, and lately in my free time, I've been working on an app for my 2nd semester mini project. If I hadn't chosen computer science, probably would have gone into psychology or psychiatry, but I'm happy with my choice. Now, moving on to the last question. Why are you here? I have horrible stage fright. I never stood for student council elections in school because I was so afraid of giving a speech in front of the entire assembly. I never participated in any music or dance competitions solo because what if I mess up? And I always envied people who have the ability to come up on stage and speak or perform by themselves. But I'm tired of that. Like, I want to be that person. And so somehow my dad ended up finding Toastmasters. He ended up finding this club. I came here for a visit and I loved it, and I joined the very same day. And now I actually look forward to coming here every Monday, which is very surprising because I never would have expected that from myself. And I'm just very thankful to all the people here who make it such a comfortable environment and who made me feel welcome. And like I said earlier, there's 100,000 girls out there with my name. But hopefully the next time my teacher's taking attendance, I won't be Shreya number 1, 2 or even 10. I'll be the Shreya who's good at public speaking. Thank you and back to
I think we can give it an alternative title of the biopic of Shreya Rao. Yes, moving on to our next speakers. Our speaker number 3, Toastmaster Hemalatha MS, with the title Myself, Attempting Level 1 Project 1 Icebreaker Speech.
Thank you everyone. Very good evening to all of you. And this is my first ice-breaking speech. Okay? I'll ask you one question. Why we call 16 as a sweet? Any guess? Sweet 16. No? Because I born on 16th. 16, 12, 1978. I think so. All of you may be knowing about the place also. Mostly familiar place, worldwide famous also, and made Indians pan-India. Any guess of the place? Yes. It's nothing than KGF. Where I born. Okay? KGF, 16/12, 1978. Then my father is a elder son. Of course, in that time, elder son means he is the first who have to take care of the family, everything. In their generation, girls means government school, boys means private school. So he joined me in the government girls school. Then I started going. Then afterwards, in 3rd standard, what they did, my elder brother, he failed in 4th. So what they made, if both are in same class means it won't be such nice. So they made in 3rd standard, let Hema will fail in that section. My mother came, asked the teacher, she told, no, I can't, she's very brilliant, I can't make her. Then she went to the headmaster. In that time, my headmaster, if family members know me, they'll tell, okay, it's okay. So they felt, really, I don't know why my mother came to the class, why she spoke to my teacher and headmaster. After 3rd, when I want to go to 4th, that time I came to know. See, I missed so many assemblies due to the prayer, because everyone will stand now 1st standard, 2nd, 3rd standard. What happened? If I stand in 4th standard, everyone teacher will tell, come, you are in 3rd. When I stand in 3rd, my classmates, my friends will pull me out. Please come here. You are not failed. You come. You are such a brilliant student. You come. Like that, I refused to go to school on that days. So I moved. Afterwards, I told I am not going to school also. What happened? You know about that time, you have to think about the parents, elders and all. My uncle is very strict at that time. So he took me to the school. If I can't refuse, I used to stand behind the pillar so that assembly finishes. Then I can move to the classroom directly. Anyhow, that 1 year went off like that only. The pain but still remains in my heart. Then, of course, you know, when I started learning ABCD, I learned at grade 6. In the grade 6, I learned ABCD, small ABCD, A for apple, like that. Then 7th, I remember the 7th syllabus. That is Halappa. Pen is on the table, cat is under the cot. Like that the syllabus was. Straight away, after 7th, I got 2nd rank. So I moved to high school. Straight away, my father didn't ask anything about my opinion, everything. Directly he joined to high school, where straight away to English medium, St. Teresa's. Okay, St. Teresa's High School in KGF itself. Totally I am fed up. I don't know any other subjects like then Kannada and Hindi. I used to write maths means Ganita, social means Samaja. The timetable itself so worse. I don't know any subjects then Kannada and this one. Totally anyhow with the Mel Summer, courageously I passed everything and went to college. I did PUC in first grade college, KGF. Then completed my BCom in the year 1998. Sir, you told me that 1998 is Mekonka. Because I heard of the 25th anniversary. Oh, 98 is okay. I'm familiar with that year. Still, we have WhatsApp group, FGC 98 batch. So I finished my BCom in 98. Then I took my computer courses in SIT Institute. There only I continued as a faculty and a counselor. Afterwards, I jumped to Kuppam, MNC Government Junior College as a lecturer for first year PUC and second year PUC. That was syllabus was Hyderabad University computer subjects. So 1 hour travel from KGF to Kuppam with Bharti bus. It was very fun with it. Traveling in bus, everything, and even the conductor, driver, everyone become this one. Then afterwards, 2000, I got married. 2001, May 18th, I got married. Then afterwards, like that only, my husband was running a computer institute. So it will be very useful to be. So I started working as a computer. I was running computer. That is H Infosys, not Infosys. H Infosys Computer Institute in Hoskote. It became very famous because I took everything seriously. From morning 7 till night 10 o'clock, I used to take classes regularly, build such a this one. Afterwards, my children. I joined my children in ICSE private school, okay, Crute Memorial School. I came to know how to learn English with my children itself. From day 1 till now, still now, I did not send any of my children to private tuitions, nothing. I used to sit along with them and took up a some challenge that I have to finish this one. My son graded in the ICSE 10, he got topper in the school, 97.2. Then my daughter, second PUC, in science she had 95%. It's okay. If husband won't appreciate me, even my relatives, even the Toastmasters fellows won't give huge applause, I'll tell, Shabash Shema, you did it. What to do? Yes, I did it because last 3.5-4 years, we didn't have TV also in our home. My children, if they're at home, I didn't pick my phone also. I gave full attention to them. When they came across to high school, I gave full attention to them. I gave full everything, sacrifices, everything, so that they can complete their education well. That's all. Thank you for giving me such a good opportunity. Thank you.
A very, very inspiring story from our Toastmaster, which explains that if you're determined, nothing can stop you. Now, keeping the ball rolling and kick-starting our next session, that is the table topic session, which is going to be Metesa, because you're given on impromptu topics and you need to talk immediately. So, I would like to introduce our table topic master for the day, Toastmaster Abhimaan. He is an engineer by profession and wants to pursue supply chain management in Germany. He likes to play tennis, watch cricket and practice yoga. Please give a round of applause for our Toastmaster, table topic master, Toastmaster Abhimaan.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. As the table topic master for the day, I will be giving random topics to all the members seated here. It is a fun way to practice impromptu speaking. So please speak for 1 to 2 minutes and I hope it's exciting. The first topic is name one person you would like to meet from the past or present and state the reason. The topic goes to DTM U Bhat.
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. Whom is the person? I think the question is whom would like to meet? there are several persons in my life who have come, who have influenced me in different ways. And each one has left some indelible mark in my life in various ways. So what I feel, when I want to meet one particular person, what makes me do that? That decides what exactly I was looking for. What I can remember from my past, if there's one person who probably I would like to be more closely knowing and what he has done and what are his ideas are there, that will be Nani Palkiwala. I'm sure many of you have heard the name of Nani Palkiwala. Nani Palkiwala was one of the genius of the country. He went on to become the president of, chairman of yeah? Yeah. So, when the greatness of his life was, he was one of the Supreme Court lawyers, and when even as the ACC chairman, he has written several books also, and his books really impressed me by his vision for the country. What was our APJ Abdul Kalam today, Nani Palkiwala was of that kind of thought on those days. It was very difficult days because it was not, India was not, it was a constrained society, and there was socialism was everywhere thought of, whereas he was a votary of a free enterprise. So he was one of the, I think, presidents or something of the Forum of Free Society, Forum of Free Society.
Free Enterprise.
Yeah.
Forum of Free Enterprise.
Forum of Free Society. So, and his book is really inspiring, and if you are, I think I don't recollect the title of that.
We the people.
We the people. There's one book probably all of us, all of you, I would wholeheartedly recommend you to read. What his vision for the country is. If you see the wings of Abdul Kalam's books and all, when you recollect what Nani Palkiwala has told about maybe 20 years back, that's really eye-catching. Probably he is one person who has been an ideal, was a role model for me in my life. And I would probably, one person I would have liked to have close contact with was and try to understand more his ideas, that is Nani Palkiwala. Back to you.
As Teachers' Day was last week, so I'll give a topic on teachers. The next topic is, who is your greatest teacher? And this goes to Toastmaster Gaurav.
Thank you, Toastmaster, KW Master. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. To be frank, I was not a favorite of any teachers in school because I was a notorious kid. I was one of the backbenchers. But when it comes to high school, that is when my actual schooling life began, because that is when I was sitting in front of the teacher, like in the first bench or second bench before the 7th standard. As soon as I came to 8th standard, I started sitting at the back. And I was a topper in school. I used to get above 90% and all that. But when it comes to high school, I started getting 60 to 70% because I realized I'm not that interested in studies. And my parents were totally worried as to what will happen to this kid. Will he even pass out with good marks after 10th? There was one teacher called Parimala. She was my headmasters in high school. She was my English teacher as well. So she saw that I was very notorious, and she knew that I am brilliant, but my mind is kind of it's not in the right place. I'm spoiled. My mind is spoiled. So she called me once after the school, and she told me that I can see that you are very capable of doing great in school, but you're distracted. Your mind is distracted, and your set of friends is not good. So I can help you with it to build your score. And she started giving me extra classes. My house was somewhere near to her house, and she used to call me and give some extra tuitions as well. And as she being a HOD, she had majority of the control in hand. So whenever I used to get in trouble with other teachers, she always came and she always to talk to the teachers and ensure that I don't get any severe punishments. So I still remember her, and yeah, she is one of the greatest teachers I ever had. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. The next topic is, if you were the Prime Minister of India, what would be the first action you would take? And this goes to DTM K Prabhakara.
It's a huge task. If I were to be Prime Minister of India, what would be my first action? First action would be to go for high tech. Right now, whatever we have is not adequate enough a high tech. India is the biggest infrastructure in last 10 years that has been built is the digital environment. And that digital environment is the one that has hastened and speeded up the whole process of really linking the last mile in the country. The question is, the first thing that I will do is that why not replicate this model to the entire world, and we have some control over what is happening in terms of population or a war like Ukraine war. In 21st century, a war, is it really required? The war has come down, but is it required that we fight over the territories or advantages of having somebody else's place as ours? I don't think so. So first thing is that the way forward is digitize everybody, count everybody, and in fact research money has to be spent on in fact forecasting who are the kind of people whose mind is trying to become a terrorist or warmongering nation. What is it that brings them about? Today you can embed a chip in the brain and you can also forecast. So the question is whether we can invest money to do that kind of research so that the world is a lot more peaceful and equanimity is in place. So that would be my first decision. It is about digitizing to the extent of keeping the world peace. Though every politician talks, the country talks about G20 also talked about peace, but the whole thing has to be started in earnestness towards this single goal. And that goal is through communication, not in the kind of the Toastmasters we are having, digitized communication, I would say, that so that you have control over everyone on this earth, whether it is for constructive purpose or destructive purpose. Over to table topic master.
Thank you for that insightful response. The next topic is, if you could have one superpower, what would it be? And this goes to Toastmaster Sai Snehal.
Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As kids, we feel that I wish I had this superpower to do something that nobody else could. When I was a kid, I used to watch Flash a lot, and I always wished I was there in a jiffy. I used to always imagine that. Like, what if I was there in 1 second? What if I was here in another second? For a long time, I thought, this is so sad that I couldn't do it. I wanted to be in so many places at the same time, I couldn't. But then, that is what exactly technology has given us to do. I can sit here, open my phone, and see what's happening in some part of the world. It is actually a superpower we all have, but we don't really utilize it, don't realize that we have it. Individually, if I want to say what superpower actually makes sense to anybody is the ability to see what is going to happen tomorrow. A lot of us fear what lies ahead of us, what happens tomorrow, what is there. And a lot of us face anxiety because of that. Maybe this superpower will help a lot of people live in peace, stay calm. Because just today morning I was reading newspaper and I read 3 people didn't attend the exam with the fear of what the results would be. And that was so disheartening because all of them are trying to live in the future when they're supposed to be living in the present. This is one superpower that I wish everybody had, not just me. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. The next topic is, when you are 80 years old, what will matter to you the most? And this goes to Toastmaster Jyothi.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. When I am 80 years old, what will matter to me the most? I think when I am 80 years old, all the people whom I have met and whom I have yet not met will matter me the most. My dream for my future after I retire is to be a storyteller. And a storyteller in the villages, in the rural part, in the city, in the international level, I want to be a storyteller. That is what I see for myself in the future. So when I'm 80, I'm like planning for my 80s from now onwards, being a Toastmaster, so that my speaking skills are much more structured and organized, because at 80, the skill of telling a story, because I have created so much of story in my life which I would want to tell others, that is so important to me. And to be at 80, my health is important. So keeping all this in mind, I think I'm doing good, because to dream is the first step which takes us to our future, because the conviction to fulfill what I dream should be so intense that I have the I build the capability and the ability to visualize and be there. I think this table topic of mine is more of what I want to be at 80 most, is to organize my mind. Thank you, and over to the table topic.
Thank you for that wonderful response. The next topic is, do you believe in ghosts? Why or why not? This topic goes to DTM Udanka.
Thank you. Do you believe in ghosts? I don't know if I have to call them it as a ghost or whatever you want to name it, but I actually don't believe in ghosts per se. I just believe in the energy what is around the place. It's either a positive energy or a negative energy. A year ago when I visited Goa with my friends, with a lot of here and there, and I had explained this in one of my speeches also. I actually went to a cottage where we actually experienced a negative energy. So that's when I realized that yes, there is an energy which is a positive, because that I have experienced a lot of time when I visit temples. And first time that was when I experienced negative was what during that time. That's when I realized that if positive is there, negative will definitely be there. So that's the energy what is around is what I believe. And coming to ghost, I don't actually believe in those concept there, because I have gone to many of the crematoriums, and if people say especially in my religion, if they say if you lift the body or give a shoulder to a person who is dead, you might be affected with that. I've given shoulder to 10 to 12 people now, and nothing has affected me till date. So I don't think so. To my belief, I don't believe in ghosts, but definitely I believe in positive and negative energy which is around us. That's it, and back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you for that response. The next topic is, name a movie that impacted you the most and why. This topic goes to DTM Amitabha sir.
Name a movie that has impacted me. Leave out the most part, because it's difficult to sometimes separate out one movie from many others. But what I can think of, from my recent recollection of what I liked is perhaps Three Idiots. My idea of going to a movie is to have a little bit of light-hearted moment. Okay, if possible with a good message behind it. So that's the idea of having a good time and going for a movie. From that perspective, I think the movie Three Idiots, which many of you would have seen, is an extremely light-hearted one. Amir Khan and the other actors made it really nice for us. And at the same time, I think it had a very, very nice message. All of us, I think many of us as students can certainly relate to that. We know in what kind of situations we can do well, in what kind of situations we may not be able to do well. Toastmasters is one such environment where we have such a conducive place to really learn and learn public speaking. Similarly, I think Three Idiots told us that if there is a conducive atmosphere, if the educators create a conducive atmosphere, which is really very, very important. In fact, seeing so many suicide incidents that keep happening over in different campuses that we see today, it's really high time that educate both students as well as teachers who offer us education offer a nice conducive atmosphere that fearlessly we can learn and not fear about failure. So with that message, I think Three Idiots is something that I think most of you have enjoyed, and for those of you who have not yet enjoyed it, I would certainly recommend it. Over to you,
Thank you for that response. The next topic is describe a place you would want to visit, and this goes to Toastmaster Sindhushree.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhimaan. To speak about the favorite destination places, I think I cannot pick one because there's so many of them. But that one place that I keep going back to every single year, or that one place that always I remember at the end of the year, or that one place that I always cherish forever is this Shrungeri place. So it's kind of very different or unique. For example, I don't pray to God every single day. I don't have those religious beliefs in me. But every year at some particular time, I feel like if I go to this particular place, everything just feels perfect for me. Everything I feel, everything in my life will become normal. Everything that, whatever questions are in my mind are answered, and it's just everything about that place feels very perfect. That's something that I really love, or I love to keep going back. But apart from this, Bangalore is my place, and I think after going to every single nook and corner of Bangalore, I would not love to leave this place at any given point of time. But that one place that I would like to visit again and again is one place that I visited recently with my friends was Varkala. Even to this day, when I'm sitting in the office in front of a laptop screen and I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Why am I here? When can I get out of this office? When will this person stop calling me? Can I just not have one more person ping me and ask one last question? No. I don't want to attend the last meeting. I don't want to reply back to the last message. I go back to this place and think, wow, if I could just live there forever. That one scenic, beautiful place. I think those are my two favorite places to just escape the humdrums of life, to escape all the chaos that's everything that's surrounding us. Just go back, sit, relax, not have a worry in the world. I think that could be Shrungeri or Varkala for me. And that's all, and back to you, Abhimaan.
Thank you for that wonderful response. The next topic is, if money were not an issue, what job would you choose and why? This goes to Toastmaster Sanjana.
Thank you for such a mind-boggling topic, Mr. Table Topic Master. I recently watched the movie Pyasa a couple of months ago, and this was a very wonderful movie done by a visionary like Guru Dutt. So he spoke about how money can change a person's life when he had the way people treated him when he had no money, and the way people treated him after he had money. So at this point of time, I'm doing litigation. So you can't just say that I'm minting money, because litigation is such a field that is a field of delayed gratification. It only starts compounding mid 30s or when you're in your 40s. At least that's what the hope most of us cling on to. I don't know how far it's true. So if I didn't have money as a criteria, which job I would choose to have is maybe not litigation, maybe something to do with acting and script writing, and that's what maybe my end game would be. And back to you.
Thank you for that response. The next topic is social media overall good or bad for society? This topic goes to Toastmaster Ravikumar.
Table topic master, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Social media is very useful for a younger generation, without which they find it impossible to live. And it has become so mad nowadays, it's the parents or the guardians find it impossible to take away the children away from the glued attention that they give it to the social media. But however, social media is not that that you cannot say that it is useless or unfit, because you also get a lot of good informations and very useful tips that you get. So it is a double-edged sword that social media that is put across. But only thing is, if social media is not influenced or fabricated, or if it is not a lie that is tried to doctor to a correct message, if that is avoided, I think these messages, both for the children or for the adults, can be balanced. Back to you, table topic.
Okay, the next topic, any guest can volunteer for this topic. What talent do you wish you had? Any guest who will want to volunteer?
Call them.
Okay, Chetan.
Okay, so I've always heard that actually there's a book called Grit, okay, written by Angela Tupper, in which she talks about the capability of a person being the talent that they do into the skill they have, and the skill itself is based on the hard work that they have. So perfection of a person depends on their talent and doubly on their hard work. So overall, if you ask me, I would ask for that innate ability to stick to something and keep working hard at it. And eventually you will get better than most people. But that innate talent that people have, like the best example is Michael Phelps, right? He has longer hands than anybody. That lets him pull more water than anyone else. When his coach realized this at the age of 5, he pushed him harder. He pushed him much, much harder. Because he realized that he could actually be someone. And he went on to break all kinds of records later. So what kind of talent would I want? Well, I want the ability to realize what talent I already have. Because then I can work hard to maximize it. I think that makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful response. That's it from my end. I had a great time. I hope you all had a great time too. Back to the MC.
After this mettlesome and enriching session, Let's have a 10 minutes networking break and come back. Thank you guys. Welcome back, my fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Hope you guys had a very refreshing networking break. Yes?
Yes.
All energized?
Yes.
Now this is going to be one of the sessions wherein all of us are excited, right? We all like taking feedback and giving feedback. Yes? So now I would like to welcome our general evaluator, Toastmaster Raja, for the day, who's going to do the general evaluation for this session. And he is a construction technologist working in Bangalore who believes that habits are more important than goals. And he loves science fiction and fantasy movies. So let's give a huge round of applause for our general evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Raja.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Latha. So today, and good evening to all my fellow Toastmasters and guests. So today our session started at 6:23 p.m. and we had the business session where our Toastmaster Shiva, he shared about the open roles and also the newsletter that Pavni is working on. And before I get into that, I want to talk about the theme, which is get the ball rolling. And a lot of them has talked about that. It is important because when you get the ball rolling, you need to create that momentum. Whatever it may be, you need to have some kind of momentum. Whether you are starting to read a new book, or you want to improve your habit of reading, you need to start reading maybe 10 minutes a day, and then build on that, and then you'll be able to build that habit. And similarly in Toastmasters, when you join Toastmasters, you will start with taking up some small roles, whether it is timer, R counter, PPE, and then later you will take up more on the other important roles like table topics master or the master of ceremonies. Then you give a speech, right? And sometimes you may also, the next level is you win the best speaker for the table topics. I'm putting the best speaker for the table topics after the prepared speeches because I'm in Toastmaster for like 8-9 months now. I've won like other things, but the only things I haven't won is the best table topic speaker. So I want to learn from Shiva or U Bhat or Sindhushree. Where is she? So on how to do that. So having said that, so we need to keep our ball rolling and create that momentum and start doing things that we want to achieve in our life. Okay, now Sergeant at Arms Mamatha, Toastmaster Mamatha, you started it very well, and you talked about the importance of women in women's role and how you have been women is helping the family in terms of you talked about all of that. I couldn't recollect from the notes over here, but that was what your speech was on. And I won't be evaluating the presidential address, and minutes of meeting was done by Toastmaster Sharanye. It was well done. It was perfect. I don't have any feedback on that. It was perfect, and you also sent the meeting minutes the next day. So before I get into the Master of Ceremonies, I would like to first get into the prepared speech section, and I will call the evaluator for the first speaker. So, but before I get into that, I want to know that if you have received the PDF and you have read the project guidelines, yeah. And this is something that I want to highlight for all of the evaluators. When a speaker, if you're the evaluator, make sure you get those project guidelines and you read that, so that when you're giving the feedback, it will be apt and as per the project guidelines that is mentioned in the Toastmasters. So I would like to first call Toastmaster Keerthana.
Good evening once again. It's been an absolute honor to be evaluating you, Apoorva. And to start with, you ticked all the boxes. What is required for an icebreaker? family, interest and profession. In your family, we have now understood that from the beginning, from your birth, that you were the most pampered one until 7 years, and then you had to share, and you also went into small tiny details like how the core memory of your childhood is your brother holding your hand. So you went even to minute details, and then coming to the interests. We know that you are a sports champ now, you love to dance, you are a fitness enthusiast, you love art, you love travel. And next was your profession. You are an interior designer, you have a bespoke return gift business where you cater to providing perfect return gifts. So what we are going to do is we are going to talk about what you were superb at, what you can be superb at, and of course what's life without challenges. So because that's what leads to growth, right? So we're going to talk about 3 things. The first thing, I absolutely loved how we actually now have it like a complete picture about what you were in your childhood, what you were in your college, what were the subjects you took, and when you got married and you have a child called Avyan, so you took us through the entire thing. So now I can actually say I know Apoorva. So I guess that is probably a hallmark of a good icebreaker, that where we actually now know who you are and what are your passions about. And then coming to where you can probably excel a little bit is, to begin with, it's your very first speech. It's an icebreaker, right? So you could reduce a little bit of pauses. There was quite a few pauses all through. And for someone who was seated there, I could get a sense that probably you missed a sentence here and there and you were trying to recollect your thoughts. I mean, that's what seemed to us. However, as an icebreaker, I think you were absolutely fantastic. And a challenge where you could probably work on is maybe you could avoid getting your gadget here next time, because this place is yours, so you don't have to look into it. And you are so good, you're so clever, you have it in you to recollect your thoughts, and you have it in you because your body language, your expression, everything is so beautiful. You probably could avoid getting it. But all in all, it was such a wonderful experience for me to be evaluating you. So, good luck to you.
Thank you, Evaluator Toastmaster Keerthana. It was an evaluation well done. And all the speakers today didn't feel like an icebreaker speech. All of you did a very good job. And for evaluation for Toastmaster Keerthana, you talked about the positive points, and since it is her icebreaker speech, you didn't go into too much of the areas that she can improve on, but you talked about the challenge that she can work upon to improve her speaking the next time. And Apoorva's speech, I'm just gonna quote one thing, that definitely Toastmaster will help you stand before the crowd and deliver a confident delivery. And keep giving more speeches. So well done. A round of applause to Toastmaster Apoorva. All right, now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Anusha.
Good evening, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. And in particular, my target speaker, Shreya. I still remember the first day she came to Toastmaster with her dad, and she was sitting there and she told that she has stage fright and she does not like public speaking and seeks or hopes to improve it. And today, on the first day or the first speech, she did it with no script. And she did it with so much metal sound that I feel like her college missed out on a really great MC. And I feel like you should have gone for that role, Shreya. Seriously. The opening was very precise and you had a title to your speech. Why, who, what and why. And this kind of outlined the entire speech structure and helped the audience expect what to hear next from you. And I feel like this is a very perfect outline because I just wrote my GRE today, and this is the exact structure that describes a perfect speech. And also, one thing that really caught my attention was your hair flip in the introduction. That really caught me off, and also the way you wove the different aspects of your life from your family, and then it went on to your brother, and then how about your hobbies that you like, that you don't like, and then this like and dislike, eventually you set the stage for your current passion that you're pursuing, that's computer science. So it was very neatly well woven into the entire journey. And next, I also liked the way you made a comparison of your hobbies. That's like how you liked your childhood passions, and then eventually as you became a teenager, the kind of passions that she liked. And the comparison was really apt. And also, I feel like for your first speech, she was really calm, she was really composed, and she delivered it without any hesitation. And this just shows how well prepared and timed she was. And you also noted another important point, that is as to why she joined Toastmasters, to improve public speaking. And your conclusion was in support with your introduction, where you told that there are a lot of common Shreya that your teachers called, and now you want the teachers to call you as a public speaker Shreya. And to help you in this transition, you could probably work on eye contact. Initially your eye contact was everywhere, but in later on of moment of the speech, it was concentrated to one side. Probably you could work on that. And secondly, you could probably work on improving the loudness of your speech. It was perfect, but probably if you would have spoken a little more louder, it would have got the audience attention. So I also noticed that you have a really good sense of humor, and I feel like this will be a really strong suit that you can work on for your future speeches. Overall, it was a well-achieved goal. She has achieved the target of her first icebreaker speech and has set the ball rolling for the journey of Toastmaster. Congratulations, and I look forward for more speeches. Thank you.
Well done, Toastmaster Anusha. I believe this is your first ever time evaluating, right? So it's well done. She went into detail of all of her the different items that you covered, and she also talked about the areas that work well and the areas that you can improve upon with respect to eye contact and increase a little bit of the humor. So well done, and you did a very detailed evaluation, which is fantastic. And one thing I learned from your speech is that how common my name was also, like Raja. It is like my parents didn't make any effort to think like to come up with the name. Right? They said like, okay, kid, Raja.
My name is also
Raja. See? And you ended up very good as well. Like you want to be known as the Shreya who's good with public speaking. So that's fantastic. I liked all those points. So a round of applause to the evaluator. And next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sushruth.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my target speaker. First, I would like to start with, nobody here would disagree with me if I say Toastmaster Hemalatha had a meddlesome moment behind the level. And another thing I want to say, you told that your parents made you fail in a class, and you are a brilliant kid again and again. I definitely agree with you, man, because if I were failed, I'd be happy that I make more friends. First of all, the meaning of icebreaker is the speaker has nothing to break here, but the audience has actually. Whenever there is an interaction between two people, the other person will always be in a blank moment what he can talk about. So the icebreaker addresses some points about the speaker himself. It can be his childhood, it can be about their hobbies, it can be about their work, it can be about what they like to do and don'ts. And I would like to say you addressed almost all the points that were required for an icebreaker. I still remember the moment after I gave my icebreaker, I told that I'm practice CFA. And in the networking break, Shiva came to me and told, Sushruth, practicing CFA. like that. Very small minute details can help the members here break that ice, come to you and network with you. That is the whole point of icebreaker. And you really almost checked all the points. But there were some points that you had to address, but you didn't. Those points, the one point I would like to say is you very much excelled about your childhood. Yes, even I cherish my childhood. I would like to talk the most about my childhood too. But you could have shortened it a little bit, told about your work a little more, and your hobbies. You almost missed out what are your hobbies are. I would like to play. I would like to play chess. I would like to do this. I would like to do this. You could have added that one. And the second thing I would like to say, you had a clear speech. You had that one phase going on. But in the middle, after when it came to your teenage, you jumbled it a little. I think so. It could have been like, I am Sushruth, I am doing this, I am doing that. I like to do this. I wanted to practice martial arts, but I couldn't because my parents practiced it on me, so that I couldn't practice violence like that. You could have had a flow, but you broke it a little in the middle, I could say. You had your childhood in between your work sometimes. You could have worked on that. I can understand you had some time constraints, but you really had that meddlesome movement behind the lectern again, and congratulations, you helped the members break the ice. And back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sushruth. Couple of things in the evaluation. So as an evaluator, this is for like everyone. When you're evaluating someone, the focus is on the speaker. It's not about you, it's about the speaker. So when you give evaluations, you have to make sure whatever you're telling doesn't take away that, and then you're adding your own ideas or input into that. So everything has to align to that, because I know you have covered all of the points, but I felt like it was changed into something else. It was a great thing, it was humorful, but when you're giving the evaluation, the focus should be on the speaker. So that is the one. And other than that, you covered the points where she did well, but since this is her first speech, you can go a little light on her, the points that she can improve upon, right? You don't have to be mention everything, maybe like 1 or 2 points, because the idea is to encourage you to come and give more speeches, and we'll be more critical in the upcoming speeches. Just for this speech, we won't be. And yeah, very good speech. You had a big opening, KGF. That was good. And also you talked about the meddlesome challenge, teaching your kids, and having 2 kids. I understand, I can correlate to the amount of work that you have put in teaching them. So well done, and a round of applause to Toastmasters. Okay, now our table topics master. Table topics master did a wonderful job. He started a few weeks back. He started taking up small roles. Now he is the table topic master. He did a great job in that. And one good thing is people didn't come and ask here what is the topic, because last time as a GE I said when people come here they shouldn't ask what is the topic. It could be of 2 reasons. Either the table topics master did not do it correctly, or it's a tactic to understand, okay, taking more time to think on the topic that they have been given. But you did a great job in that. So only one, when you're reading the topic, you make sure you look at the audience and be bit more louder when you're giving that. But most of them came here and didn't ask for the topic again, so that was a good job, and keep taking up more roles. And it was varied topics that you chose. Maybe 1 or 2 spooky ones. You can avoid that. But other than that, well done, and a round of applause to the table topics. So before I get into the Master of Ceremonies, I would like to call our timer Toastmaster Vijay.
Thank you, G. Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome, guests. My timer report is like this. Business session went on 49 seconds. Welcome, Sergeant at Arms Mamatha, 2 minutes 8 seconds. Presidential address, 6 minutes 16 seconds. Introduction to Toastmaster of the evening, 45 seconds. Report on previous meeting, Toastmaster Sharanye, 1 minute 51 seconds. Master of Ceremony, till now she has taken 27 minutes 32 seconds. And Speaker 1, Toastmaster Apoorva, 4 minutes 58 seconds. Toastmaster Keerthana, Evaluator, 2 minutes 36 seconds. Second Speaker, Toastmaster Shreya Rao, 4 minutes 42 seconds. Evaluator, Toastmaster Anusha, 3 minutes 23 seconds. Third Speaker, Toastmaster Hemalatha, 7 minutes 09 seconds. Evaluator Sushruth, Toastmaster Sushruth, 3 minutes 30 seconds. Table topic master took 26 minutes. Table topic speakers, it is on the board. I have mentioned there, you can go through that. GE till now 5 minutes 42 seconds. Thank you, and back to you, sir.
Thank you for the details on the time for each of the speaker and whoever was behind the lectern. Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay. If there is anything I can add, maybe I know you used to do this before, a punchline in the first as a timer. Maybe that is something that you can add in the coming days. Next, I would like to actually call upon our Toastmaster U Bhat actually. Yeah.
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. Actually, I wanted to start in a different way, but let me come to my role. As far as the ahs and ums and crutch words and pillar words are concerned, today's was a very unique meeting, I should say, because all the first-time speakers, the newcomers, they did extremely well, absolutely flawless. 4 persons, the prepared speeches, Apoorva, Shreya Rao, Hemalatha, absolutely flawless. No ah, no no filler words. That's something great. And first-time tabletop speaker, that too a guest, Chetan, absolutely flawless. There was no ah and ums I could count. So that is something really amazing about this, that the newcomer doesn't mean anything. They were doing much better than most of them. I've been here for 25 years, but still I hold the record for the highest number of hours in the speech. So this is a different matter. Let's come to other roles. The Sergeant at Arms, Acting President, they were largely flawless, no problem. As far as the evaluators are concerned, they were largely flawless, except perhaps Anusha, I think you are doing for the first time. Yeah, so there are a couple of hours I think that you can work out, because evaluation is difficult because you have to do on the spot, you have to speak. But great job done. So then coming to table topic master was flawless. I couldn't observe any ahs and ums in your speech. But there are 4 speeches which are really stood out in table topics. Distinguished Toastmaster K Prabhakara, Sai Snehal, Distinguished Toastmaster Amitabha, and of course our guest Chetan. They were absolutely flawless. That's one thing I observed. And particularly I would like to see our Sai Snail's table topic response. It is more than being flawless, that flow of ideas and the thought process, that's what makes his speeches unique. That's what I feel. I think my request to all of you is, when you go back home, you just please, again, whenever it's put up to our YouTube channel, when it opens, you go through the speeches, you will know what I mean by what I said now. So because the thought process is what matters, particularly in table topic responses, it always does. Because as far as the table topics went, there were 3 U Bhat, Distinguished Toastmaster U Bhat, as usual, had his crutch word. actually, and couple of hours. And Jyothi, I think you had some few hours. But one thing stood out was actually Sanjana, one of the best speakers we have in our club. Very humorous and thought-provoking with a lot of good content. That of our Sanjana. Great. But I would, Sanjana, only one my request is you would have to consciously work on your ask. This not only this speech I'm telling you. I've seen you from always. You are an international speaker. You know you are a, what you call it, material, speech contest material, as they say in Toastmasters. So you definitely it will help you a lot. You will become particularly professional speaker about that kind of quality. But work on your ask. That's one thing. Same thing I would request for Raja also. Great content, is humor, is the ways expression of ideas, something great. You too have to work on your ask. Number of asks was bit more than for comfort. Overall, a wonderful session. I really thoroughly enjoyed, particularly when newcomers give such a wonderful speech with absolutely no ahs and ums. It really heartens us so much. With that, back to you.
Thank you, DK Bhat, for the detailed evaluation. I'm glad he didn't tell the number of ahs and ums I used because it was very high last time. And I know Shreya, Toastmaster Shreya, found that. And, yeah, thanks for the detailed evaluation. Now, let me call Toastmaster Jyothi, who will be giving the Grammarian report.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Today's speakers were very meddlesome, and so I could not note down any of the not so good usages. I have only the good usages, and they are get the ball rolling, movie buff, new version of me, mesmerizing, human calculator, arts kid, envied, eye-catching, notorious, build your score, digital environment, digital communication, digital communication, believe in energy, light-hearted moment, conducive atmosphere, chaos, glued attention, double-edged sword, innate ability or talent, create momentum, ticked all the box, precise, well-achieved goal. And the word of the day was used twice by Toastmaster Latha, twice by Toastmaster Hemalatha, once by Toastmaster Raja, once by Toastmaster Anusha, once by Toastmaster Sushruth, and once by Toastmaster Jyothi. And if I have not recorded anyone's name, I'm sorry. You may please say it aloud that you had used it. And with that, back to the general value.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyothi. And it's also like people who have not used and you said they have used. It's, for example, I didn't use that word. But yeah, additional points for you, brownie points for you. Okay, now let me call Toastmaster Mamatha for the PP evaluation.
Hi, hello. Today's meeting went on well. There was no cross-talkings or nobody spoke about any sex, religion and politics, and there was no mobile phones which is ringing. I didn't see behind me, but which were in front of me, they didn't use. So it was fun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mamatha. So now I would want all of you to vote for the different roles today except for the MTG. Alright, my last evaluation will be for the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Latha. And I didn't know you can dance to the sound of a generator. I can dance too. Okay, so well done. So you're taking up more roles, and I think this is your first MC role, and it is well done. And you started with the story of how people want to go to Goa, and then from 20 people it went to 10, and then 3, and then you connected with Get the Ball. So that was very good. Only thing is, you know that the MC time has been reduced and maybe you can shorten up the story a little bit. But other than that, I like the way that you you connected a story and then linked it with the theme of the today's meeting. You introduced the speaker. One thing is when you did a fantastic job. One thing is moving forward is when you're calling out the speaker, you call the speaker and what is their title. So you can mention that. And before you call upon the speaker, you need to call the evaluators to read the project guidelines. So that was missing. Only the first person did that, and then the second and third you did not call Anusha or Sushruth to read that the guidelines before the speaker comes and presents it. But other than that, it was well done, and keep taking up more roles, and looking forward to more roles from your end. Thank you, and vote for the remaining, and back to the president. Go back to MC.
Okay, now we are at the stage that the Goa trip it's about to get end, and we are at all the formalities where we are going to pack and do all the exit formalities, paying all the bills. So I would like to call upon our presiding officer, Toastmaster Shivaprasad.
He is presiding officer. He is the current acting president. You have to acting president. You have to say acting president.
I only told her to say that. Okay. Anyways, thank you, Toastmaster Latha. You've done a great job as the MC. And usually I'm very nice, but today I'd like to be a little strict here. I'd like the following members to rise from wherever they're seated. Toastmaster Latha Nahar, Toastmaster Abhimaan, Toastmaster Keerthana, Toastmaster Anusha, Toastmaster Apoorva, Toastmaster Shreya Rao, and Toastmaster Hemalatha. Every single person that is standing right here, if you see, they've done whatever they've done today for the very first time. Right? So there could not have been a more apt theme for today's meeting, which is set the ball rolling. Give these people a round of applause. Congratulations on setting the ball rolling, and I hope it continues to roll. Right? So let not stop at this. So a few things, as I've seen the ballot week after week, I see that a few Toastmasters cast in your votes even before the roll takers have delivered their reports. You just assume that this person is the best. So please do not do that. Please give them a fair chance. Let the roll taker complete what they're doing, and then go ahead and please vote. So I have 20 responses, so that's great. 21 responses. Also, to all our guests today, you're more than welcome to attend our meeting as a guest for 3 times as total. 3 times in total, and then you will have to contact the VPM if you're interested in joining the club. The name of the VPM is Shivaprasad Sharma. So yes, whenever you're interested, you're more than welcome to give me a call or send me a message so we can get the process started. And the meeting next week, that is on Monday, shall be temporarily postponed, or I won't say it is cancelled. It's definitely not, because next Monday, as you know, September 19th is Ganesh Chaturthi, and Mekon, this building shall be closed. So we'll either have it on Tuesday or we'll do some other arrangement, but the meeting will happen, right? So with that, I think we can get into the most awaited section for today, and that is the winners of today's meeting. Let me start off with the best role taker TAPG, that is timer, R-counter, PP Evaluator, and Grammarian. Just a couple of weeks back, we had our 25th anniversary, and in the quiz I said that somebody who holds the record for the maximum number of hours. And today he's the R-counter, and he's won best role taker TAPG, DTM U Bhat. Best role taker MTG. Rightfully, he said he has a very common name. He has the name literally translates to king of our club, and the king has ruled in his kingdom Very well. So the best voting MP is Toastmaster Latha. Let us get into the best table topics speaker for today. Yeah. I don't know about others, but if I became the Prime Minister of the country, first thing I'd do is change the name of the country. Right? So the best table topic speech today goes to DTM K Prabhakara.
I got it because he did speak.
Coming to the best evaluator for today's meeting. Again, we have a debutant taking this ribbon. A very kind, a very sweet evaluator. It goes to Toastmaster Anusha. Okay. And coming to the best speaker for today. This has been a very close contest, mind you, and there's something called confidence, and then there is something called quiet confidence. That is the scariest. The person is very quiet, but they are super confident, and it scares me a lot. And the best speaker today has been taken away by the quiet and confident speaker, Toastmaster Shreya. Thank you everybody. I hope you've had a good time today. And with that, I'll be closing meeting number 1230. And I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.